What is up, guys? Thank you for clicking my video. It is your boy Calum here, and we're going to look at who is natural. So guys, we're going to look at who is natural and who is fake natty. So this is a massive topic in the fitness community. A lot of people that are fake natty claim to be natural because it sells more. If you openly admit that you're on steroids, it's not going to sell as well. So people will not claim that they're on steroids. You barely hear of people claim that they're on steroids. The old school bodybuilders like Arnie and people like that, they openly did steroids. It wasn't frowned upon. It was literally just part and parcel of life. They talked about it all the time and everyone knew that they were on steroids. But nowadays it's very hush hush. People do not admit what they're taking. And to me, that's a problem. There's a lot of naive, uneducated people out there that look up to these people and think one day they might be able to achieve that physique. They're like, yeah, give me 4 years, good nutrition, good training, I can be like Simeon Panda, I can be like Jeff Seed. But they can't. They don't have the genetics, and a lot of people are on steroids. And we're going to look at exactly who is on steroids and who isn't on steroids in the fitness community. So I'm going to be using my own knowledge and opinion plus a calculator called the FFMI, the Fat Free Mass Index. It's basically like BMI but with muscle mass involved, so it makes it so much more accurate than BMI, and it really helps work out where you are with your muscle mass. So how it works, there is a scale. It starts at 19, that is your average person. That is a person that's never lifted, never gone in the gym, literally has barely any muscle mass on them, just an average human male. Then between say 20 to 25, that is natural. Then you get to the 25, that is when things become a bit tricky, because you can have genetic freaks that are above 25, but they're like special individuals. They really have great genetics, have trained hard, and are just very lucky humans. But above 20, most of the time, is going to be fake natties. That is where your steroid takers are. That is people like Simeon Panda, like Rich Piana, people like that. They are above 25. But in the famous fitness community, there is some genetic freaks out there that will go above 25 but are still natural, because they're just very lucky. They have the best genetics. They have just worked their ass off and are just freaks. They are 1 in a million. But before we start, I just want to say one thing. I am not against steroids. Anyone that takes steroids, feel free. As long as you admit that you're on steroids and do not give someone a false sense of hope and just lie to people, then that's absolutely fine. You do whatever you want to do. Some of the greatest athletes in the world have taken steroids. Arnold Schwarzenegger, to me, is like such a motivation, and he was clearly on steroids, and he's just a great human being. So it doesn't matter if you're on steroids or not. Just admit it. And do not lie to the people, especially the naive young kids out there that really want to become like their idols, but they can't because there is steroids involved, there is genetics involved. There's lots of factors that people do not tell these young kids. Quickly, I just want to talk about the types of steroids that you get. You have like anabolic steroids, which make you massive, like the IFBB pros. Or you have ones that just make you shred and be very lean, like Clem. Or you have performance enhancing drugs, which people like John Jones, who was caught taking drugs in the UFC, athletes take to make them perform better. But there's many types of drugs out there. You just have to figure out which ones people are taking. They don't have to be taking anabolic steroids to be absolutely huge. They could be taking something else to make them perform better or make them leaner. It's not always going to be just to be big. There's different types of steroids out there. Just be aware of that, guys. But anyways, guys, I've done some research and I've compiled a list of people that I was interested in seeing whether they're natural or not. And hopefully you guys will be interested in too. They range from YouTubers, actors to athletes. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let's get into number one. So guys, number one, we are starting with a massive guy. It is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. If you don't know who he is, you literally live under a rock. I have no idea how you would know who The Rock is. But he is 6'3". He weighs in over 236 pounds and he's normally at about 10 to 12% body fat. And he scored only 26.5, which to me was quite low. I thought he was going to hit like 28, 29 because he is clearly a monster. But he's just 26. So there is a possibility he could be natural. To me, I don't think he is. He has way too much muscle mass. He is just a beast. There's no way in my mind that he is natural. He's gone from like the Scorpion King, where he was clearly natural and like a bit fluffy, had some muscle mass, had some size, looked normal, to now like Fast and Furious and movies like that where he's literally just a mountain of a man. You've probably seen that transformation picture that has gone everywhere. It's like a massive meme. In the meme, he goes from like when he was wrestling, when he was like quite chubby and fat, which is like 20 years ago, to like now where he's like literally a monster, to like 30 years later, he's a rock. So literally, the transformation between the first two is crazy. Like, yes, there's quite a lot of time in it, but I still do not think he's natural. He's just a beast. As much as I love him, I really do not think he's natural. He clearly could be natural because he scored quite low, but to me, I really do think he has had some help. He is a monster, very genetically gifted as well. He is absolutely huge. He is part Samoan, and they are just massive people anyway. He's literally just a genetic freak, but to me, I don't think he's natural. Number 2, this one is a big one. Simeon Panda. If you don't know who he is a UK-based bodybuilder. He has won Musclemania a few times. He is absolutely huge. Here are his stats. He is 6'1", 230 pounds, and he is consistently 6% body fat year round. I've never seen him bulk. He is always shredded to the bone, and he has the smallest waist I've ever fucking seen. And he scored 28.5 on the FFMI scale, so he is clearly not fucking natural. Like, he is a man mountain. He is absolutely huge. He is always lean. He is no way natural, but he does claim to be natural, which really annoys me. He is not natural. There's no way that he is natural, and he gives this false sense of hope to young people wanting to be like him, because he is a genetic freak. Clearly, he has a tiny waist, massive legs, massive lats, and massive shoulders and arms. So he is clearly just very gifted. His waist is so fucking small. It must be like 26 inches or some shit. It is absolutely tiny, but he is 100% not natural, and he needs to just come out and admit that he is not natural. Okay guys, number 3, we are going to compare Simeon to the one and only Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Arnold was 6'2", 249 pounds, and 6% body fat when he competed. And he scored 29.7, so just a little bit more than Simeon Panda. And that guy was clearly one of the best bodybuilders ever, admitted to taking a shitload of steroids for years, and is actually pretty much the same size as Simeon Panda, who claims to be natural. So there is no way in hell Simeon is natural. Arnold was an absolute legend. He was a genetic freak as well. He was literally huge at the age of 18, and he was just very gifted. And he also worked his fucking ass off. But he admitted he took steroids, did not claim to be natural, and is an absolute legend. Whereas Simeon Panda is very hated for the fact he does not claim to be natural. Simeon, just claim you're natural, bro. Okay guys, next up we have one of my all-time favorite YouTubers. He's now following me. I am so happy. If you didn't know already, it is Chris Jones from Pump Chasers, from POG. And his stats are, he is 5'7", weighs in at 182 pounds, and is normally about 10%, 12% body fat. He scored exactly 25 on the FMMI scale. So he's right on that boundary between natural and fake natty. But to me, I've been following Chris since the beginning, since literally like 7-8 years ago when he started YouTube. And he goes through consistent bulk and cutting phases. He hasn't always looked the way he has. He's slowly progressed over time, slowly got stronger. He hasn't just suddenly, all of a sudden, got massive, hasn't all of a sudden suddenly got really strong. He goes through phases. He is just like every other person. He bulks, he cuts. He sometimes looks quite fat. He has got very fat before in some of his videos. And to me, I think he is 100% natural. I know a lot of people think he's not natural, but he just has just very good genetics. He's very short, so he looks bigger. He's very wide as well. He has a massive back, very wide shoulders. He has very good bicep peaks. To me, he just has very good genetics. He does have very good abs, even when he's not like really lean. They stick out. He could be like 15% body fat, and his abs to still be very predominant. But to me, he's very natural. He's just very lucky with his genetics. He is very short. He's only 5'7". Like, that is a lot shorter than I am. So he looks bigger than he is, but he's also just very strong. He's worked his hardest to get to where he is. He's a volume king. He does a lot of volume, but he eats a shitload of food too. So to me, I feel like he's natural. If he's not natural, I'd be very disappointed. He claims to be natural, and I feel like a lot of people that follow him believe that he is natural because we've seen him develop over the years, grow, and just work hard. He is one of the hardest working people on YouTube. To me, 100% natural. Okay guys, we're going to do some more YouTubers now. So, next one up is Joe Delaney. If you don't know who Joe Delaney is, he is a YouTuber from Manchester, and he has a crazy physique. He is always shredded. He literally looks so fucking good. And a lot of people think he is unnatural because he is so shredded. But you'll be very surprised about these stats. He is 5'10", weighs in at only 168 pounds. And to me, he must be like 6 to 8% body fat most of the time. But he only scored 22.6. So he is clearly natural. He is just a fucking genetic freak. But I read up that both his parents were very into their fitness as well. His brother is also exactly like him, shredded, just a little bit bigger, but he is actually older. So they're both just very lucky with their genetics. They're both shredded. Not massive guys, but just extremely shredded. They look very aesthetic and they're just very, very lucky. They train hard and clearly natural. Next up, one of Joe Delaney's friends, Rob Lipset. So Rob is absolutely huge right now and a lot of people think that he is not natural. I don't know why people think Rob's not natural. He just has very wide shoulders. He has quite good arms. He has decent abs. He's quite lean in his abs all year round, but he does bulk and cut. He doesn't look that huge. Like, he's strong. He's just better than average, but he's not like a genetic freak. He just looks pretty good. He's a good looking guy, so people like him, but I really don't think he's on steroids. And his statistics also agree. He's only 5'8", so he's pretty short, and he's only 170 pounds, and he's normally about 10 to 12% body fat. So he was 23 on the FMMI scale. So he's still under that 25. He just probably has quite good genetics. He's quite wide, pretty short, stocky build, and he just trains very, very hard. He's progressed very well over the years. I've been watching him for numerous years, and he's definitely got stronger over the years. And yeah, I believe he's natural. A lot of people don't believe he's natural. I don't know why, because he doesn't look fake. You can tell fake natties straight away normally. And to me, he just definitely looks natural. He's like a natural physique most people should aspire to be like. Okay guys, a couple more YouTubers. Next up is Guzman. Probably one of the most famous fitness YouTubers there is. Christian Guzman. He is an absolute beast. What an inspiring guy. Has numerous businesses, competes, has a great physique, and people think he's not natural because he's very, very strong on bench. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm like, how the fuck is this motherfucker lifting that much? He does like 140 for fucking reps, which is insane. He has very, very good chest, shoulder and arm genetics. And also he can get very, very lean and look very, very good. But he's also not that huge. Like, when he's lean, he doesn't look massive, but when he bulks, he just looks a lot bigger than he normally is. But he's very tanned year round. He has very good genetics and he looks very good. Like, his proportions are all perfect. But his stats are, he is 6 foot. He has 185 pounds at his heaviest. He's normally like between 10 to 12% body fat, apart from when he's competing. And he only got 22.9 on the FMMI scale. So he's clearly natural. He is at the right body weight for his height. Like, if he wasn't natural, he'd be like 220 pounds, fucking monster. But he is just very, very strong, very gifted with his genetics, and he just looks amazing. But he's also been training since he was like 16, 15. So he has over 10 years training in him. But he does get very bulky in the off season, which just makes it even more clear that he is natural. He has to bulk a lot to build the muscle mass that he has. So to me, Guzman is natural. Okay guys, next up is Igor from Fortune Physiques. If you don't know who he is, he literally made the video that inspired me to make this one. He made a video about who was natural like 2 years ago, and it blew up. It was absolutely huge. And he's also signed to Alphalete. He is a great YouTuber, and I believe he's 100% natural. If you look at his physique, he has progressed a lot over the years. He competes in bodybuilding in Canada, and to me, it's very clear that he is a natural athlete. So his statistics are, he is 6 foot, 183 pounds. I'm going to say he's 10% body fat most of the time, and he only scored 22.5. So clearly natural. You can just tell by looking at him. He doesn't look fake. He looks very natural. He just has very wide shoulders. He gets lean, but to me, if you were on steroids, you'd be a lot leaner. Your shoulders would be a lot rounder, and you'd just be able to tell that he was on steroids. He looks very natural to me. Like, there's a difference between natural and steroids, and to me, he is literally like the epitome of natural athlete. Okay guys, I'm switching up now, and we're going to have a boxer, and it is Anthony Joshua. If you don't know who Anthony Joshua is, literally, you must be mental. He is a heavyweight champion of the world. He is a massive boxer. He has literally gone from the Olympics to become heavyweight champion, and he is an absolute beast. His statistics are, he is 6'6", and he weighs 249 pounds, and he's normally on average like 10% body fat. What a fucking unit. But I know all you little haters out there are going to be like, steroids, he's on steroids. But he only scored 25.9 on the FMMI scale. So he's still just at that level where he could be fake or he could be natural. But to me, he is just a genetic fucking freak. He stands at 6 foot fucking 6 for fuck's sake, and he's just built like a brick shithouse. To me, to be a professional boxer, to be heavyweight champion of the world, you have to be natural. Otherwise you'll get caught out. He hasn't got caught out. He boxed in the Olympics where they test you anyway. So to me, 100% natural. He is just a genetic freak. He is absolutely fucking huge. I wish I was that fucking tall and that big. God damn it. Okay, next up is Lazar Angelov. Massive Instagram star. You must have seen him somewhere. He is all over Instagram. He is normally shredded to the bone. Massive guy. He's literally like the epitome of shredded. He's like the Instagram model that you see everywhere. But his statistics are, he's 5'11" and 198 pounds, and he's normally like, he must be like 7-8% body fat for how shredded he is. So he scored 25.9, so exactly the same as Anthony Joshua. But to me, to be that shredded, like Anthony Joshua is nowhere near as shredded as this guy. To be that shredded, he has to be on something. And if you haven't watched his recent videos, like he got injured and took lots of time off because he couldn't train, and he got quite chubby very fast, dropped a lot of muscle mass very fast. He didn't retain very much muscle mass in the videos. Like he literally looked like just an average Joe. He had big shoulders, but his arms are shrunk, his chest has shrunk, and his abs just disappeared. He literally looked terrible. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, he's back bigger than he was before. So to me, he has to be on something. To the fact that he lost all that muscle mass and then gained it back very, very fast, absolutely shredded and even bigger than he was before, he has to be on some form of steroids. Okay guys, next up we have Kalin Muscle. Came out of prison, became an absolute superstar on YouTube. He is everywhere, but the guy is clearly not natural. His statistics are, he's 5'9" and 240 pounds. So he weighs nearly the same as Anthony Joshua, but he's only 5'9". Guy is clearly on steroids. He's under 10% body fat all the time. I've never seen him bulk, and he scored the highest score out of everyone right now, 31.8. He is 100% on steroids. He is an absolute monster, but to me, he doesn't look good. He's too big. He's just absolutely huge, and he doesn't look healthy. But he's fucking athletic as fuck. He can do muscle ups. He can do some mad shit in handstand. Like, the guy is a unit, but he's very, very agile. So I'll give him that, but he's clearly on steroids. Okay, next up is a absolute massive guy, Calum von Monga. I don't know how to say his surname, but that's how I'm saying it. If you don't know who he is, he's literally like Arnold 2.0. He is a fucking unit. He's only like 25. He stands at 6'2", 245 pounds, and he's normally about 8% body fat. He scored 28.9. The guy is clearly not natural. He literally eats whatever he wants. If you watch Generation Iron 2, he literally doesn't diet. He went for a show and literally dieted for like a week. He is just a genetic freak. He's very, very lucky, but he's clearly been on steroids for a very long time. He is absolutely huge. He's literally nearly the same as Arnold Schwarzenegger. So the guy is not natural, but he's a cool guy. He's very strong, but he should come out saying he's not natural, like Arnold did, because he's literally the new version of Arnold. Okay guys, we're gonna end with people that clearly aren't steroids, but I just wanted to put them out there anyway. First one is Max Tuning, one of my favorite YouTubers ever. If you don't know who Max Tuning is, he's literally deadlift bra. He's quite a skinny guy, but he is strong as hell on deadlifts, and he is absolutely hilarious. He's 5'10", 170 pounds at his heaviest, and I'm gonna say he's about 10% body fat. He only scored 21.9, so he is clearly natural. Like, if anyone ever says that he's on steroids, you're literally on drugs. I've seen people say that he's on steroids, I don't know how, just because he can deadlift a lot. He's just trained like a beast. Like, have you not seen his lower back? His lower back is ridiculously huge. He is just very strong with deadlifts, and he has tiny little chicken legs, but somehow, some way, he can lift a shitload of weight. So Max is 100% natural. If you thought he wasn't natural, you are literally an idiot. And then lastly is me, Kalin Pugsley. I am 6 foot. I averagely weigh about 185 pounds, and I scored 22.5. So definitely natural. I bulk, I cut. It's taken me years to get to where I am, and I still don't even look that amazing. I look pretty small in my opinion, but I've definitely got stronger. I've definitely made progress over the years, and it's just being consistent and just accepting the fact I do not have the best genetics. So that was my list of people that are natural and not natural. So there are some clear people that are definitely not natural, like Simeon Panda, like Calum, but also guys, there were some people that are on the verge between 25, 26, who literally could be genetic freaks or are just secretly taking steroids. So people like Anthony Joshua. To me, I think he is natural, but The Rock was there too, and to me, he is 100% on steroids. So in them cases, you just have to like judge it in your head, look at their past, look what they've done, look at their transformations. Like to me, The Rock has had a massive transformation. So somewhere along that line, he has taken some form of steroid. Whereas Anthony Joshua has just been a unit since he was a kid. He's just grown, lifted more weights, gained more size, and just become a world-class boxer. So you just have to work out in your head, use your opinion, use some knowledge, and just work out for yourself. You just have to get to know people by watching their videos, by looking at them on social media, and just see whether they're liars or whether they tell the truth, whether they help people. Like Matt Ugas gives out a lot of information to people for free to help people, whereas Jeff C's more like just a physique competitor, doesn't really care about people, he's very about himself. You just have to work it out. Like Jeff, to me, is probably on steroids, whereas Matt isn't, but you don't know. You just have to work it out. And it's all about opinions, really, because we're never going to know the truth unless these people come out and be like, yes, I'm taking steroids, which they're never going to, because it will affect their careers and their lives. So it's all opinions, and you just have to use some factors in there, like the FMMI scale and just their past. That is how you work out whether people are natural or not. It's not a massive deal either. Like, it's not going to kill you if they are natural or they're not natural, but it'll be just nice to know when people are taking steroids, because it really does affect the naive young people coming up that want to train, want to look good, and think they can achieve their goals of looking like someone like Simeon Panda, but they can't because they don't have the genetics, they don't have all the steroids, probably very expensive steroids as well, to look like him. There is people out there on YouTube that talk about their cycles and educate people on the cycles. So if they want to take a cycle, they know exactly what they have to take, how to do it safely and cleanly. So I like that. They admit they're on steroids. They help people that want to take steroids know what to take, which is good. Whereas just lying about it, saying you're natural, and people want to get there, they can't get there, so then they start taking steroids, but they have no idea how to do it, and they fuck themselves up. That is the problem to me. But anyways, guys, I really hope this video helped you, gave you some information to work out whether people are natural or not natural, because there's a massive debate in the fitness community, and it's never going to go away. So now you have some factors that you can use to work out whether people are or not. Definitely check out the FMMI scale. It is a massive tool to work out whether people are natural or not. But anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.